Hello.
I've got a story for you.
Tell me all about it.
You don't know about it.
Start from the beginning.
Okay. So. Okay. Actually, let's just start with a fucking tangent, right? Yes? Okay. So, in the last 20 years, I went to the dentist once, right? I went, and I mentioned this in my one podcast that I recorded. I went to the dentist once in 20 years, and that was 7 years ago. And then I recently started going to the dentist, and I've gone a bunch because it's like tangents. Like, what? Nobody cares about my jaw anatomy, but I'm going to have to go there in order to... Okay, let's do it. So my jaw or cheekbone or whatever, some sort of part of my no, not muscles. I think it's the bones, just kind of where they're at. It's like to get a mold of my upper teeth, like you can't, like just the way my jaw is, it's harder to get. Does any of this matter?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So I've had to go back to the dentist multiple times to try to get a proper, whatever you call that.
Retainer?
Proper impression so that they could put the crown on. They couldn't get a crown fitted to my tooth unless they could get a good impression, and they tried. I love this dentist. There's no fault they can do. Okay. So I've gone to the dentist multiple times over this crown situation, and it's now in my mouth, so everybody can calm down and be happy for me.
Good job.
Okay.
You did it.
However, in the middle of getting the crown situation figured out, I had to go to the dentist like a bunch, which I could go on a tangent about. Do we need more tangents? Let me take a sip.
I'm not sure. Does it pertain to the story?
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay. Do they ever? Okay. So, where is this going? So, one of the times I go to the dentist, I see this doctor, like this one dentist. Dentists are doctors, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Continue.
Anyway, okay, who cares? So I'm sitting in the chair, and this doctor, is trying to figure out, because he didn't take the mold, a different dentist did. So he's trying to make sense of the situation, and he was so nice. He was trying to connect, trying to make me feel comfortable, just making, small talk, trying to get to know you kind of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said something like, oh, my brother has all these tattoos. Okay, the conversation took a very sharp turn because I made a mistake. I made a faux pas, a conversational mistake. So he said something about tattoos, and which led to so I said some dumb shit. And the second I said it, the assistant, she kind of laughed I don't know, cheering my dumb shit on. She's being, maybe she's being nice. I don't know. So now it's confirmed that everyone in the room heard my dumb shit, right? And I'm like, no. I said it. And it's something I've said a couple times in passing, not to dentists, but just to people in general. And I never really realized how dumb it sounded. And I said it, and I caught it. It was it just hung in my freaking ear. I was like, fuck.
Are you going to share what you said?
Should I just repeat it? Does the world need to know dumb shit that I've said?
Well, it seems to have had a dramatic effect.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, here, let me explain around it, and then if you feel like you want to hear it, I will be glad to share it with you. So I said some dumb shit, and after I said it, it clicked that I should not be saying that. It doesn't represent me. I actually don't believe it. It's just something I thought. I don't, some wires got crossed. I went with it, and now I said it to a dentist. That was the end of the line for that poor train of thought. It's like, well, you said it to a dentist, so now you gotta. Okay. So after I said it, I was like, no, right? This sense of I can't take that back. But right after I said it, he walked out of the room, not because I'm so offensive, but because he had to do something, or both. Maybe he was offended. Maybe that's why he walked out. So he walked out of the room to go do something. And the whole time it's sinking in, like, oh, dude, you kind of said some fucked up shit. Like, you could get away with this. You need to fucking apologize. You need some, I like extreme ownership, right? So there's just this compelling sense to just, you know what I mean? To be like, oh no, I didn't mean any of that. I'm a dumbass. You know, like I wanted to do that, right?
I feel like the story is losing the context.
Perfect. So that was then, and I didn't apologize because he's working on my teeth. So it's like like I'm in the situation where an apology is trying to fall out of my mouth, and it's absolutely physiologically impossible to apologize because, yes. So that was then. I go to the dentist multiple times since then. And every time I'm about to go, this is over months. This isn't like the next day. It was like every time I think of the dentist, my brain remembers the dumb shit I said and was like, we're still waiting for the apology. I'm like, God damn. Okay, sorry. So I go back to the dentist multiple times, and I always see the lady who, you know, did the impressions or molds or whatever the fuck you call it. And I really like her, so I'm happy to see her. And she gave me a hug one time because I was so like, I don't know. She was very sweet. See, the dentists don't deserve some harassment. These are some nice people. You know, people with a microphone should not be allowed in.
Okay.
So I'm at okay, so then I go to the dentist, and they're like, your ass needs a mouth guard because you grind your teeth at night. And I was like, all right. So they were like, can you come in this day to pick them up? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, Dr. So-and-so, it's the guy. I said some offensive shit. Okay. So I'm thinking, now is my time. Now or never. I have to, for my own sanity's sake, I need to just air that shit out.
Did you do it?
It's been months, dude. This is the problem. It's been so long, it looks more psychopathic to bring it up than to let it go. It's like, why are you still thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown man. I don't need your fucking, you know what I mean? Like, he's good. He doesn't need to hear that I said dumb shit. Like, he's a grown up, right? So this is the thing. I'm obsessing over needing to apologize, but I'm also like, dude, if you apologize, you might actually make it worse. Like maybe his wound, maybe he's gone to therapy, the wound is healed, and now I just show up and I just start ripping off scabs or some shit or opening old wound. Like so this is the question. Like I what do you think? Do you think I
don't know what you said.
Do you think it deserved a retraction, or should I just...
It probably depends on what you said.
Well, no, not necessarily, because you could deem it as like, you could deem it as like, oh, that wasn't a big deal, but it felt like a big deal to me. Or you could be like, damn, I'm getting divorced, you know, like, I don't like you at all. And then I really wouldn't want to tell you because I like you. I want you to like me. Well, it wasn't the end of the world, but I did obsess on it for the last, I don't know, 3 months or something. It's been a while. It's maybe been more than 3 months. You want to know?
Yes.
The look on your face is like you're packing your bag. You need to know. This is, our marriage depends on you knowing.
The whole story is like out the window.
Dude, I can say whatever the fuck I want on here. I can make the most backwards
You have a PhD.
Conversation.
T for tangent.
PhD. Yeah, dude, I can tell some random ass stories that make no sense. I mean, not like people are paying me for this. You get what you pay for, people. Okay. That's not true. Let's so you need to know?
I feel like this story
You're just trying to save the story
in the clouds without this
you think this
important piece of information.
You're judging the story, and then in 3 months from now, you're going to want to apologize. Okay, just kidding. Here's what I said. Yeah, let's just air this shit out. Okay, here's what I said. Brace yourself. So he says something like, oh, my brother has a tattoo, right? And I'm like, I don't know. I say something nice back, right? It's nice. I'm nice. I'm a nice person until this sharp fucking turn. Okay. And then he says something about like, oh, like, I don't know. He said something about like tattoo pain and like maybe his brother's tattoo pain. And then I threw out this sentence, and this is where it took the turn. I threw out some rude ass sentence about like, ha ha ha, men can't take tattoo pain because men are weak. I don't know. I said some rude shit. Like, I said something along those lines. And the assistant, like, she kind of, like, laughed. Maybe she was laughing at me. Maybe she was like, this girl does not know that it is 2019 and people are equal. I don't know. Like,
that's a legitimate thing, though.
No, dude. When I said it, I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Because if he would have said the opposite to me, if he would have been like, women are weak, like, I would have been like, dude, that shit's rude, right? But I was on my team being oblivious to his team, and I was talking trash on his team to him, and he's the doctor. It's like, I'm the customer. I'm always right. I should not exploit my control, right? Some people can't handle power. If you are the customer and you lose your shit, you can't handle the power because the customer is always right. So he can't be like, really? Because you look like you're anxious sitting in the dentist chair, you weak person, right? He can't call me out on me being weak. So that's why I was like, oh my God, this is so fucked up. Like, I just felt so bad for saying that because I was essentially talking shit on men. And I don't even feel that way. I don't feel like talking shit on men.
Well, it's not that men are weak. It's that men have lower pain threshold.
That was kind of the logic I was saying, but I think
he probably gets the point.
You know what?
You don't need to bring it up.
Do you think I brought it up? Do you? Do you think I brought it up? Okay. But here's the thing. We can rationalize what I meant, but we can look at what I said, and if somebody said that to me, I wouldn't be like, boo fucking who. I'd be like, you know what? You sound ignorant. I can relate, right? You know what I mean? I'd be like, yeah, whatever. We all say dumb shit. However, okay, this is a side note. A couple years ago, it just clicked. Like, it just fucking clicked that, at least for me, I can't speak for anyone else. For me, like feeling embarrassed, like, you know, like deep embarrassment or even shame, I guess, but embarrassment is like when I think I'm above some shit and it's like I'm embarrassed because I shouldn't have done this thing that I'm above, and it just clicked. I was like, dude, I'm not above anything. Like I cannot express the liberation, the peace of mind of like, dude, I'm not above anything. Like, I can barely spell. Like, if I walk around pretending that I'm above some shit, we have a problem. You know what I mean? It's like, who put this child in the airplane and let them drive off? Like, not above it, right? Like, we need to accept kind of some things. So I forgot that I'm not above saying some dumb shit. So for months, I'm over here agonizing about apologizing for saying some dumb shit. Because here's the thing. If I would have felt like I would die for this thought, sure, say some dumb shit and then go jump in a river, right? But if you say some dumb shit and you're like, I don't even mean this. Like, I want to say dumb shit and mean it. Like, I don't want to say dumb shit I don't mean. That would be a waste of saying. People give you a pass.
It's like being ignorantly ignorant.
People give you a pass for saying dumb shit. If you get a pass for saying dumb shit you don't mean, it's like, what if you have some dumb shit you actually mean? People lose their patience with your dumb shit. They're like, I forgave you that one time. But you're just too much, right? So, not that I'm keeping score. Maybe I am keeping score.
It sounds like you have a list.
It sounds like I'm definitely keeping score. All right, more shit I'm not above. Okay. So I'm agonizing because I think I'm above saying dumb shit. And I didn't remember otherwise. So for 3 months, including showing up to the dentist and having to figure out, am I apologizing? Am I bringing up old wounds? Right? Okay. And you've just said I shouldn't bring it up, right?
Did you bring it up?
Tell me. Repeat what you said.
It sounds like I said you don't need to.
Why not?
Doctor? It doesn't mean anything.
Dumb shit doesn't mean anything?
Well,
rude shit doesn't mean anything?
He probably didn't take it as rude. I think he understood what you meant.
Okay.
He's a doctor.
Okay, here's...
He's a PhD. I think he can figure it out.
So now I'm calling him dumb?
You're insulting his intelligence.
Oh, please stop hurting my feelings. All right. Okay. I didn't even consider that he was smart. He was smart. Sorry, I have to get this thought out. But I'm crying and laughing. Okay. I didn't even consider that he was smarter than my dumb shit. Thank you. Okay. However, that wasn't taken in consideration until after the doctor's appointment, such as right now. Way to have a vote of confidence for people. I think you just blew my mind. Okay. Moving along from your genius, let's talk more about my dumb shit. Okay. So, damn, that really blew my mind. Now I can't even remember where the fuck I was.
PhD.
Okay, so I'm in the dentist. I'm in the waiting room, and I'm this is I have to make a decision. I can't decide that he's smart. Oh, you know what I was gonna say? That you, with your great fucking points of he's smart enough to decipher, these elementary thoughts that I, put out loud. The tone that I said it was the fucked up part. It wasn't just what I said. The tone I said it was a rude tone. It was like I put extra stank on it. Like I was just like, bam, men, right? I don't know. Like I just said, like it was definitely, the thought was what I said. The tone was how I said it. Both were wrong. And if the tone would have been right, then I would have forgiven myself. I would have given myself a pass. The tone was where I was like, you're not off the hook. You need to apologize, right? Because we didn't consider that he was smart enough. Okay. So I'm in the waiting room, and I have to decide. I hadn't decided what I'm going to do because I've already repeated it like 500 times. Like, do I make it worse by bringing it up? Here's a tangent I'd like to fucking point out. And I've figured out there's two types of people. Oh shit, I'm putting people in boxes.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Generalizing.
Yeah, I am. Here we go. So there's two types of people. There are people, there's probably 4 types of people, I think. Okay. But here, let's talk about 2. Some people, they like confrontation. Well, there's 4 types of people. There's some people who hide from confrontation, like they're scared of confrontation. There's some people who love some nasty ass confrontation. Mm-hmm. But the 2 people I'm referring to aren't like the toxic versions. They're just, some people need confrontate, like they like to confront shit. Like they like confrontation on the confronting side, not on the aggressive side. And then there's other people who are the opposite. They don't like confrontation. They like closure. They like to end. They like things to kind of be, like they like to move on. Mm-hmm. They like to resolve it in their self and move on.
Yeah.
I'm not a resolve it in yourself, move on. I mean, I'm working towards it, but my wiring, my instinct is I would like to confront anything that bothers me. I want to talk about it. Not not to like start problems, and people who like to run away from those like people who don't like those conversations, they hear it as you want to start a fight. They don't hear, like you just want to come to a, an understanding, like a.
Yeah, you want to reason with them.
You want to make sense on both sides. You don't want to like talk at someone. You want to be like, hey.
You're trying to have a philosophical conversation.
Well, you want to say like, hey, this happened. This is how I feel. Like you want them to hear you, and they don't want to hear it. Like they don't want to talk about it. Like they're like it just.
I understand.
Okay, and why does this? Okay, why does this matter?
Go on.
So that's me, right? Like I want to resolve it verbally, right?
Yeah.
That's how I process through conversation. So I want to bring shit up, but now that I'm aware that not everybody like people are the opposite. If you stir some shit up, you're doing a disservice to a person who you're only upsetting them. So now that I realize that it could actually like me trying to help myself could actually be really selfish. So it's a tricky. So this is the conundrum I'm in the. Okay, we get it. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, I don't know. Somehow I got distracted. Okay, here's the distraction.
Tangent?
No, this is what actually happened in the lobby.
Okay.
So I'm in the lobby and I picture him being like, hey, good to see you, right? Him like extending an olive branch or whatever, him wanting to build the bridge of communication.
Okay.
And then me, and then him. So I'm imagining him being like, hey, how are you? So then in my mind, I'm like, what do I say? Because this is the moment, right? I either am like, just thinking of apologize just sounds embarrassing. I don't know. Something about it just sounds like, okay. Like, just, like, why am I still thinking about this? That's how it feels. So then I imagine telling him that I have a roller coaster of emotions, because that's actually how I've been feeling lately.
Yeah.
And saying it in a lighthearted fucking way. Not like he's my, like he, like, needs to bear the burden of my emotions or something, but just saying it in a lighthearted way. And then in using the words existential crisis, right? Just as kind of a joke, like, oh, roller coaster of life, existential crisis. So, but then I'm like...
Sounds extreme.
I know, right? But in my head, it was hilarious. In my head, I'm like a comedian, like, telling hilarious jokes. Okay, so I'm still in the lobby. This is just in my head. And I'm like, wait a minute. We need to double check what existential crisis means. So I look it up on my phone, and in this article pops up about existential dread, right? Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Tell me.
It's like worrying about the significance of your existence, right?
Yeah, the article was essentially saying, like, I'm
insignificant. I'm nothing.
Well, kind of. I mean, that's true. But the way the article said it was like, if you're staring at like the beautiful stars at night and you can't take in the beauty because you're too busy, like, thinking of all the awfulness of the world.
Like mid-career Woody Allen.
It's I don't know. I can't speak to that.
His existential movies.
Well, it sounded more dark. It didn't sound so like...
He's got some dark movies.
Okay.
Anyway, continue.
Well, somebody wrote me on Instagram and said that they want to go to yoga, but they can't because there's too much of a certain race of people there, and it ruined their experience, right? And I was like, and that was in their own race, by the way, not other races. And that was the first thing I thought. I was like, dude, that is a fucking example of existential dread. Like, there's people around you.
I feel like that's taken out of context.
How?
I feel like existential dread is more of like I don't know, personal philosophical problem.
Dude, that's not to me. I thought that was a personal, like a philosophical problem. Like, if you're around all these humans that you could give love to and have a beautiful moment of connection, and you're just like, but the world is so, and then you have like these thoughts and feelings about like race war, right? If you feel that way and you can't enjoy yoga, how is that not existential dread?
Okay, I guess this just seems a little
Yes,
taking it somewhere. But anyway, continue.
So I realize I don't have existential dread, and I should zip the lip. Like, all the jokes need to go home, because if I just open my mouth, I'm clearly going to say more dumb shit. Because I was about to use words that are just, they're more ways of explaining shit that don't mean what I feel. Okay.
At least you caught it.
Oh, thank God. Yes, thank you.
You didn't tell the dentist that you have existential dread.
I really need to find a new therapist. Okay. We're going to wrap this up. I know. Long chit chat. Who gives a shit? Who's counting time? I can speak as long as I prefer. The look on your face is like, wrap it up, please. Like, you like a microphone. Wrap it up. Okay. So what did I do? Okay, so I'm like, all right, we're just we're shooting at the hip, because our jokes, our thinking is getting us in trouble. Let's just, no pre-planning. Let's just share love. Oh, that was probably it. It was, okay, I'm going to say some hippie shit, and you can also pack your bags and leave to this if you want, but I'd prefer you not to. So last time I was at the dentist, every time I had gone, my anxiety got worse in the waiting room. Not while they were working on me. It's not painful or uncomfortable, and they're really sweet, and I love them. Oh, love ya. Okay, it just triggers anxiety that has nothing to do with the dentist. So every time I go to the dentist, the anxiety gets worse. Like, I'm just building and building and building. So I started reading this book. See, this is a fucking tangent. Okay. So I started reading this book, and it was talking about all this hippie shit to do with your heart, so that way you're not essentially suffering in moments of suffering. Like, you're not taking the suffering and then making it worse. You're not saying dumb shit and then thinking about it for 3 months. Okay. So the last time I went to the dentist, I was doing the technique that the book was talking about like with your heart. And so I'm in the chair with the woman and the assistant, and I'm doing this like heart technique. I don't know. And at one point, like, this is some hippie shit. This is not my fucking normal everyday. This was a moment. I had a moment. And essentially in this moment, it was like my heart, do I even want to say this? This is some corny ass shit. Are we saying it or no? Am I above it? I feel like, no, I feel like I'm actually above this. Definitely above this.
Dirty hippie.
Okay. So this thing that I'm above, I'm just going to say it anyway. But remember, everybody, I'm above this. Seriously, this is some embarrassing shit. I am going to say
out with it.
So I'm in the chair, and I just was doing this technique, and at some point, like, this heart technique, like, got out of control, and just, I, like, filled the whole room with love. Like, I was giving so much love to the lady doctor, like the assistant, like the whole room. It was just the three of us, but the dimensions of the room, like the physical space of the room, like I had filled it like almost involuntarily. Like, just, I was doing this thing, and then all of a sudden it got out of control, and the whole room was filled with so much love. I almost cried. My eyes got, like, there was just the depths of love, and like the nurturing air. I don't know. Who knows how to put these there's no words, people. Okay. So I'm above that, but I did it. I didn't even know how I did it. So I remembered, I was like, oh, if I want to stop suffering, maybe I should fucking start handing out some love, right? Instead of being like, trying to win people over with some hilarious jokes that are only more offensive. I could just cut the bullshit and just give people some secret private love that no one will ever know I'm giving. And it just seemed like a better solution than thinking, okay, so I'm like, maybe I will just give the dentist some love, and that is all I need to worry about, and stop thinking about all the bullshit. I honestly don't remember if I ended up doing, I think I didn't end up doing that, because me and the dentist ended up having a chit chat, and it was just like good, like, it was like we just connected as people. Like he had my retainer, or no, night guard. Maybe it's different. I don't know. And he was like drilling it to like, make sure it fit right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's behind me, and I hear the drill, and I was like, hey, you could be a woodworker. I was like, hey, my husband's a woodworker. You could be a woodworker. And then he just was like, oh, that's funny you say that, because... And we just went on this, like, spaceship trip of just chatting about random shit. Like, he went on a tangent with me. We went on some tangent expedition. It was so good. It was like, all of a sudden... It was like I no longer saw him as the victim of my bullshit. And I no longer saw me as the victim of my bullshit. It was the greatest moment ever. It was like the ultimate redeem. So I didn't apologize.
You didn't have to.
I didn't. Well, I don't know. I still don't know.
You don't have to. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for taking me off the hook. I don't know if I buy into he's smart enough to know. That one, I can't get around that one.
If he really compartmentalized it in his head, you would probably see it on his face.
Well, maybe he forgave me. Maybe he's like, which is great. I mean, if someone says some dumb shit, you should probably forgive them, because clearly they're dumb.
How do you know he's not spreading love into the room?
He clearly was. He could have been mean to me. He could have not fucking made my night guard fit right. He could have been drilling it all backwards. He could have been like deeper ridges. I don't know.
This is someone else's mouth guard.
Yeah, he could have been. Okay, enough of that. There was more to the story. Where the fuck was this going? I don't know. That's all I've got. I feel a lot of thumbs down coming. That's okay. That's okay. And to the person who doesn't want to go to yoga, don't thumbs down this shit. I'm sorry for bringing it up. I try not to talk about people's shit. Well, I don't talk about people's shit because they can't defend themselves. They can't be like, dude, okay, quick tangent. So, okay, I'm quick tangent, and then we're getting the fuck out. So, whenever I would, I used to write this podcast, like email them, because they I sell shit on eBay, and they it was an eBay podcast, so just like some casual people, so I'd write them, and sometimes they would quote shit I would say, but they would quote it all fucking wrong, and it would drive me up the wall. I love them, so it's not like peace. It's like that's fine, like you're forgiven, which is not true because I'm still bringing it up. But I'm just saying, like, that's why I never want to quote people, like personal conversation, like when people write me.
Because you think you're gonna misquote them.
Because no, intentional. Even if I quote them perfectly, like, I don't talk perfectly. Like, there's a disconnect between what I mean and what I say. That's just fucking that's human language. It's English. Oh my God, this is a great, sorry, the look on your face, you're like, are you about to lose your shit? Okay. I'm just saying there's a disconnect between what you, and maybe it's not. I feel like you don't have a disconnect. I feel like you're always like, I said it and I meant it. Peace.
Well, sometimes.
Okay. For me, there's always a disconnect. And how you feel one day, it's like there's going to be a different way I would say it the next day. Like 10 minutes later, I'll say it a different way. Like there's no way, So quoting somebody, it's like you're saying this is how they feel forever, or you're drawing conclusions with limited amounts of data, all this bullshit. So I don't like quoting people. So to anybody why am I bringing up? Okay, now I'm apologizing to her. Like, she's the dentist. See, I'm trying to get the apology out. It's like I'm compelled to, someone's getting an apology before the day's up. Even if you don't deserve it. Is there something I need to apologize to you for?
I don't think so.
If somebody
said something, they said it, and that's fine. Even if they think something differently the next day.
You're not going to hold it to them?
No apologies necessary.
That's kind of how, I don't feel like I need a huge apology from, I mean, I guess I'm too busy worrying about who I need to apologize to. I'm not really worrying about who needs to apologize to me. fuck does? Maybe I need to assert. Maybe I need to start demanding apologies. Maybe I'm going too far in the wrong direction. Maybe that dentist should apologize to me. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Peace.